It starts in Geneva, headquarters of the World Health Organization. For more than 50 years, the WHO has tracked influenza and determined what to put in the vaccine. There are two types of influenza that make humans sick, A viruses and B viruses. But there are different strains of those viruses, and they're constantly changing. So each year, the WHO has to predict which strains will be lurking around, ready to cause infection. A small panel of experts meets twice a year to make the prediction. Dr. Nancy Cox from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control is on the panel.
The vaccine manufacturers need approximately 8 to 9 months to produce the amount of vaccine that's going to be required for immunizing the at-risk populations. And so we have to make our recommendations almost a year in advance of when the vaccine will be protecting individuals.
The educated guesses have been pretty accurate. Randall Chase is president of the company that makes most of Canada's influenza vaccine.
The overwhelming number of years or circumstances, the choices were the right ones. What can happen sometimes, and it's certainly not their fault, is that a new strain emerges late in the year.
We saw this the last time in 1997 when the A. Sydney strain emerged in the southern hemisphere.
The A. Sydney strain. By the time it hit Australia, it was too late to include it in the vaccine for the northern hemisphere, and the result was this. School closures, hundreds of deaths, and achy, hacking flu victims clogging up emergency rooms across Canada. For this year's vaccine, the WHO panel selected the same A strains as last year and a new B strain. Then manufacturers took samples of those viruses and started growing them in chicken eggs.
We start in the labs because we have to grow it up to prepare the seed, if you will. We then move that into our manufacturing areas. As I said, we inoculate eggs. This year, more than 70,000 a day. We then have to incubate those eggs. And after incubation, we remove the clear allantoic fluid, and it's that we use to isolate and purify the virus. All strains don't grow equally well. So we've had years where the viruses did not grow well on the eggs, and that resulted in certainly possible shortages.
Manufacturers try to make enough vaccine to meet demand, but no more since it's only used one season.
We try to do that. We try to make as much as possible. This year, incidentally, we will have produced for Canada approximately 6 million doses. The key to the flu vaccine is having it available at the right time. We started shipping our flu product about the 3rd week of September, and most provinces are geared to having programs of vaccination throughout October and November.
Provinces run flu shot clinics right in nursing homes and hospitals where they target the most vulnerable. Ontario and the Yukon have universal flu vaccine programs, which means the shot is available free of charge to anyone who wants it. The idea is unique, and the world is watching.
I think that there is a great deal of interest in this particular program because it could yield some very valuable information for the rest of the world about the impact of universal influenza immunization on a population.
Dr. Alison McGeer is Director of Infection Control at Toronto's Mount Sinai Hospital. She says the last 2 flu seasons were mild, so it's too early to tell whether the universal program is having an impact.
It fluctuates from year to year, and we're going to need a buildup of, I think, probably 5 years and some time to get more people vaccinated before we will really be able to walk away with kind of solid numbers as to exactly what it's doing.
Experts hope this elaborate system, tracking flu, predicting what should go in the vaccine, and then getting it out in time for flu season, will help them be prepared the next time we have a pandemic. In 1918, the Spanish flu killed 20 million people worldwide, and epidemiologists say we're long overdue for another. Maureen Taylor, CBC News, Toronto.